What's up, everyone? My name is Gracjan Kraszewski. Before I get started with anything whatsoever, I want to give a huge, heartfelt shout out to Eric Chacho. Chacho, what up? Uh, I am primarily an author of fiction. The first novel that I ever had come out was a Southern story called The Holdout, climatological disaster novella called Sarah from the Dust Plague. Most recent, about the two best looking people on Earth, Mark and Anna models. And my largest work, Thermonuclear Mirth, The End of the World, but not just yet, 900-page novel. I'm also the author of Catholic Confederates, historical manuscript, and the Hippo Lectures, 6 books. I'm making this video because my 7th book is coming out this month, sometime this month. And if you're like, why are you holding up a piece of paper? Like, where is the book? Why are you just showing us, this printout? I wanted to get ahead of the curve. I wanted to promote this book, talk about this book, explain what's in it before it's actually available for purchase, both from Aruka Press, the 5th book I've done with them. They've done Thermonuclear Mirth, Mark and Anna Models, Seraphim, and Hippo Lectures. Huge shout out to Aruka Press. Number 1 shout out, Eric Chacho, equally Alex Barbas, Aruka Press. They also are putting out this collection. You can find it at their website, you can find it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold, blah, 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 blah. I want to keep this kind of brief. 20 short stories, duh. Okay, it's 20 short stories. I want to read to you from the kind of dust jacket, some basic information about it, and read you a little bit of excerpts, and then just kind of send you on your way. So, in terms of, again, kind of a biography of who I am, if you're coming across my work for the first time, I'm going to read literally from the back dust jacket. When this book comes out, it'll both be in softcover and hardcover editions. Who am I? Author of 6 books. The novels Thermonuclear Mirth, Mark and Anna Models, Holdout, Sarah from Dust Plague, Book of Essays, The Hippo Lectures, Civil War History, Catholic Confederates. Holder of a PhD in History from Mississippi State in 2016. Fiction and nonfiction have appeared in Amsterdam Quarterly, Idaho Magazine, Riddle Fence, the Journal of Southern History, the Polish Review, Wilderness House, Literary Review, and Eclectica Magazine. Fluent in English, Polish, and French with ability in Italian and Spanish. I can be found online at the YouTube channel Maple Gracjan Syrup. That's what you're watching right now, where he has garnered more than 100,000 subscribers and more than 4 million views. He has taught and currently teaches at universities in the American Midwest, Pacific Northwest, and since 2019 has served as Director of Intellectual Formation at Vandal Catholic in Moscow, Idaho. I am recording this lecture in the parking lot by garbage cans and silos behind me at Vandal Catholic in Moscow, Idaho. Okay, what is the book about beyond like what you just said, dude? 20 short stories. Well, how is it promoted by Aruka Press on the back of the book? 20 short stories. A compilation of Gracjan Kraszewski's short fiction is an excellent, eminently digestible introduction to the author's work and his, quote, Catholic postmodernism approach. One that aims at presenting the timeless, good, true, and beautiful by way of engaging the current culture rather than fleeing from it. Kraszewski had said many times, we cannot just read C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, Chesterton, and Flannery O'Connor on repeat until the end of time, pretending as if nothing has changed in all those years since they first took up the pen. Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. I agree because I said that. Furthermore, perhaps one finds his 900-page novel, Thermonuclear Mirth, too complex and intimidating. Maybe you just think it's too large. Why would I read something that's so huge? Perhaps you do not know what to make of his Augustinian-themed Mark and Anna Models, or maybe you just like the short story format. So I think that there'll be something there that will be for everyone, right? Wherein one can attain the satisfaction of a complete story in a few pages. If that's you, that third group, that you just like the short story format. 14 of these 20 stories are completely independent of any larger work. 6 are excerpts, I mentioned in my introductory note, explanatory note. 5 from Thermonuclear Mirth, 1 from my first novel, The Holdout. But unless you are readers of literary magazines like The Light of Frastic, The MacGuffin, Wilderness House, Literary Review, the Dead Mule School of Southern Literature, which are fantastic, and we should support literary magazines, but even the best of them have a very kind of limited readership. Unless you are a reader of these literary magazines and familiar with my work, which both are low percentage propositions, you will have never encountered these stories before. So there you go. There's a kind of like general explanatory note. Again, above all, bringing new work that is relevant for now, 2026, number 1. and serving as an introduction to this Catholic postmodernism by way of number 3, work that has not appeared anywhere else, that really is kind of standalone, and even if you have read my novels in the past, you have not seen these short stories. Okay, so I want to close just with 2 excerpts, and just note really quickly that kind of a final point. I wrote a 900-page novel. I like length. I like long stories. But 4 of these 20 stories are flash fiction. They are very, very short. The first story, Albert Albertson, is flash fiction. The last story, Organic Honey, is flash fiction. And there's 2 more in between. And I'll actually read you story 1, all of it, because it is so short, Albert Albertson, and then I'll read you an excerpt of story 17, Illinois, and then, like I said before, send you on your way with this book. Story number 1, Albert Albertson. Albert Albertson was a high school teacher. He was a loser. His name, well, you see what I mean. Albert couldn't bench press the bar. He had never been in a bar. He failed to pass the bar too. He was afraid of women and turtles. One day he drove deep into the Idaho forest. Parking his car by a dilapidated tree stump, he waded into the river. It was ice cold, practically freezing. Albert spent the entire afternoon in the river, sitting and thinking. When he finally came out and ready to return home, his previous life was no more. That's it. That's story number 1. There's 3 more flash fictions like that. Very, very circumscribed. I probably don't have to tell anyone. I found that my viewership is the most intelligent people in the world. But obviously, it's this kind of like play on the sacrament of baptism, right? This essential sacrament by which we become Christians. Albertson, in the secular postmodern sense, this guy who's a loser, he just drives off into the forest and he sits in the water, but there's something cleansing about this, and he comes out and he's a new man, but we don't hear about him ever again because he's just in story 1 and he's gone. Goodbye. Bon voyage, Albert Albertson. But again, I probably don't have to explain it to anyone. You guys are very astute and smart. Last excerpt here from story 17, Illinois, picking up in the middle of the story. Marcus stops at a place on the left off the still same US 45, a store, a grocery farm co-op called Harvest Market. What a store, what a place. This freaking middle of the map, American is all painfully precious and beautiful dot definition Americanness, something here for all of us. So much so it wounds the inner tear ducts. Sunset over oceans of land, of farms, of silos. So many silos. So much sentimental nostalgic, but sentimentally working so right, a la Kevin Costner plowing under his corn to build a baseball field so as to reconcile with his ghost dad, who turns around instantly and says he'd like that, maybe even very much, when Costner's character quits calling him John, although that is his name, and instead inserts into the sentence, hey, blank, you want to have a catch? The word, the name, that name of eternal significance, nay, honor, nay, even holiness. For God the Son taught us that God the Father is precisely that, Dad. Oh, it's freaking beautiful, Marcus thinks. Inside Harvest Market, eating a heaping breakfast from a breakfast buffet featuring local sausages and bacon, eggs that are fluffy without artificial enhancements, and yellower than sunflowers in bloom, grits and hash browns hashed but still all potato, corn on the cob, and coffee that tells you in silent notes, for the nose and eyes, 4 a.m., dew on the grass, the cows to be milked, that milk in your coffee from the cows post-milking the farm, the paint-chipped barns, the taste of dinner piping hot. After nothing in the stomach the past 18 hours, that coffee and those feet hurt and they itch, and they're pretty cramped in the boots, maybe just a bit damp, and the calluses on the hands won't stop tearing open. Now you tear into something, this piping hot plate, your turn to be in charge and get your fill, so yeah, go get it. Tractors, cement trucks and tractors. What is that story about? Like, wouldn't you like to know? But you're going to get to find out when you get the book. And all of these 20, again, in different ways, I think are a very fair introduction to my work for people, a lot of people, and you know, God bless you guys, thank you. A lot of people have really expressed excitement about Sarah from the Dust Plague. Oh, I love Sarah from the Dust Plague. I wonder, do you guys love it because it's 88 pages long? You guys like that because it's so short? I mean, it's very human, right? Having something that's kind of easily digestible, even though I myself prefer the very long, huge, you know, let me just, you know, have you spend an entire summer, months reading a book, kind of slogging through it in a good way. Even though I prefer that, I think a final note is one of the main intentions of this 20 short stories was to give people, the reader, something that is very easily accessible, easy to get through, and then perhaps if you like that, you can continue on to more complex and longer stuff.